how soon can an expat access the public healthcare system? What do they need to do to access that?
Nothing. Everyone, no matter who you are, can come to a Brazil hospital and get work done.
And free,
You
and
don't
it's
have,
free.
and it's free.
All right, so today we're gonna head down to Brazil, this amazing country,
Brazil.
America, and we're gonna go to this. We're gonna look at this area called Florianopolis. It's right on the coast. It's become this huge digital nomad hub. And my new friend Thor Starkey is he lives there, and he's gonna share all the details about living there, cost of living. Thor, thanks so much for doing the podcast.
Yes, hello Ray. How are you?
Hey man, I'm doing good. So tell us a little bit of backstory about where you're from, how you picked Brazil in Florianopolis, that particular area, and tell us what you do there.
Okay. Well, I'm from USA, from Florida, and I started traveling when I was pretty young, and then started maneuvering to other countries and finding how much more freedom and how much more livelihood you can experience on the American dollar because other countries is very much cheaper, very,
Hmm.
very cheap compared to US prices.
Hmm.
So, anyways, life goes on, and then I was traveling and working in US and traveling, and then I ended up in Asia, and I loved Asia. And a short story, I traveled for 50 countries.
Wow.
I wrote a book. It's under
Ooh.
Epic Forest Destin, Destine.
Okay.
You
We'll
can
put that.
find that under
We'll put
my
that in the
website
link.
and stuff. Okay, great. And then, anyways, I ended up in Brazil. I never really had an intention of coming here because of all the horror stories we hear in US of how bad Latin America is and how much people steal and abuse and blah blah blah. Well, I come here kind of out of COVID. I never took the vaccine, so I was limited on the countries I can go through.
Okay.
And I went all the way out to French Polynesia to live because I traveled through 14 different countries during COVID, and
Wow.
I seen such a drastic effect on the humans. Yeah, so I went to French Polynesia basically to get away from humans. And then I was like, meet a lot of friends and people that are very interesting on your travels, going to 50 different countries. So I was contacting all my old profiles in my little black book and trying to see where I can go and what I can do. And I just wanted to get away. So I was just like, wanted to just go somewhere else. I mean, I wanted to go back to Papua New Guinea. It's one of my favorite countries. I went there. That's basically what my book was about, was Papua New Guinea. So, anyways, my friend was like, "Oh, you should go to French Polynesia. It's similar to Papua New Guinea, but he hasn't been there in like 15 years." So, basically, long story short, French Polynesia changed rapidly after the YouTube star went to Bora Bora Island, and then
Mhm.
French Polynesia just blew up, boom, and then in that 15-year span, basically everyone got like super lazy, super fat, and it was like, and then also, which is weird, maybe a lot of people don't really talk about it, but when you actually live there, you find this out very quickly. Everyone wants to fight you, fist fight you,
Yeah.
like a friendly
Interesting.
match,
Yeah, yeah.
like a beer, like a bar fight, but to
That's
me
great.
is like, why do I want to fight you? I don't even know you. And then what if I hurt you?
Yeah.
I can get, go to jail or something, being a foreigner here.
Yes.
But besides that, it was just kind of like during the whole COVID thing, French Polynesia, all the islands were closed down. The government was like on lockdown. And then I was just like, it was honestly, one of the worst countries I went to. So I
Hmm.
was like, get me out of here. I can't stand this no more. I'm calling up other people. And then I met some ladies in Eastern Europe and Montenegro and stuff, in Albania where I was traveling, and I contacted them, and they're like, you should come to Brazil. Brazil's amazing. You're gonna love it. The women are beautiful. It's cheap here, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, okay, it's one of the few countries I can go to without receiving that dosage. So
Mm-hmm.
on a plane I come here, and man, the first day I fell in love with Brazil. Was
Wow.
amazing. Like everyone was acting normal. Everyone's
Wow.
mask was half down.
Yeah.
Everyone's in their face talking like a normal society. And I was just like, wow, my kind of people. And I
Yeah.
start traveling around Brazil, many different states and cities, and then I like watch people on the side of the road, and they're like breastfeeding right out in the public. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not something, but it's very
Yeah.
unusual in the
Sure.
world. Like
Yeah.
most people don't do that. Everyone goes behind closed doors or something. And
Mm-hmm.
then you go into like supermarkets here, everyone's wearing flip-flops and a pair of shorts and nothing else, or no shoes and a
Yeah.
bikini or something. You're just like, oh wow, like I remember this when I was a kid in
Yeah.
USA. Like Brazil's like 30 years ago of like US, so I
Yeah.
really connected with the people here. I connected with the vibe. And then I just started traveling Brazil, seeing all the beautiful beaches. And then everywhere I kept going, everyone said, you have to go to Floripa, which is short for Florianopolis. Oh, you have to
Yeah.
go to Floripa. You have to go to Floripa. And I'm just like, in my mind, what is so special there? What is it that everyone is intrigued to go there too? So I did my travels around Brazil, and then I was like traveling for 3 4 months, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Floripa and check it out. And man, it's definitely a paradise. It's one of my top 5 destinations I've been in all the world. I've been in 6 different continents and
Mm-hmm.
50 different countries, and this is one of the best. It's kind of got like a Florida vibe,
Yeah.
beaches, bathing suits, all your games and stuff is kind of like the same Florida vibe. Um, but here is they have mountains. So it's not
Right.
so much Florida, because Florida doesn't really have no mountains. But here have mountains, and then the state is absolutely stunning. It's
Yeah.
like a Colorado
Yeah.
mixed with like a North Carolina. It's
Wow.
just amazing where everywhere you go, there's rivers and waterfalls and
Mm.
green all year round. Like,
Wow. Thor,
amazing.
man, stop it. You're selling me, man. I really Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, this place sounds amazing. And I know what you're talking about, man. I've had a lot of friends that are I love the Brazilian culture. They're amazing. They're incredible people. It's warm, the food's great, culture's amazing, the
yeah,
music, samba is incredible. Everything about it, I love. Yeah, it's
yeah.
true. That is awesome, man. So, how long have you been there now?
I've been here almost 4 years.
4 years. Okay. So,
Uh, three
and
and three and a half years.
what are you doing down there for work?
I do some. I'm a private tour guide working with some other people here.
Okay.
Our company is called Bar Noons Experience.
Okay.
You can look that up too if you want. Bar Noons Experience.
Yep.
Been doing tourism here for pretty much ever since day one, because Floripa kind of lacks tourism. It's
Okay.
kind of like a lazy island, a very chill island. So everyone's just like makes their bare minimum of money, and then they don't really care.
Sure.
And then the other people here are working 2 jobs to try to get a bigger house or a better car or something like that. It's not like they struggle to survive. It's just they want more stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, some people here do struggle to survive, but I'm just saying the average person.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like, yeah, I've been doing tourism here, and then when you travel the world, you get so many more different ideas
Mm-hmm.
of of tourism, because
Sure.
every country you go to has a different theme of tourism. So all these ideas I had in my mind, I was like, man, I'm gonna bring them here, because they don't have them.
Right.
So the thing about here is like, investing is not so cheap here as to
Mm-hmm.
living. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, it's once we get rolling into this conversation, I can explain more. But anyways, I do tourism. I also rent my homes in US, so that definitely helps me out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then my wife does Thai massage, and we do Thai events where
Mm-hmm.
we have Thai dinner events, and we'll rent out a place and do our last one. We had a Michelin star chef come from Czech Republic, and then my wife, she's from Thailand, and we were doing a lot of events. So this creates some income, but it's definitely hard work.
Yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, basically I'm just kind of an overall, like, have many different jobs, and I've tried many different things here, doing trying to teach English course, and sometimes it's okay, and then sometimes it's no customer, so it's kind of like wishy-washy with the business.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just started with the Barnoons experience, so I think that this summer coming up, we're preparing now during this winter, preparing websites, clothes, getting other people to join our team, and then I think by summertime we'll be doing very good. So this is what my key interest for my job is. But
Okay.
you can pretty much do whatever job you want here. You can
Mm-hmm.
invest in whatever you want here. The investment turnaround here is remarkable. You can
Mm-hmm.
invest into real estate here, and you're guaranteed to make more than 20% interest per year. It's
Wow.
more than banks will pay.
Yeah.
So a
Wow.
lot of people come here and invest money. A lot of people come here and invest into restaurants or some
Mm-hmm.
type of investment, whatever it is,
Yep.
schooling or cars or land or
If you bought a condo out there, what are they going for right now? Low end, like for the viewers that are really on a budget, if you bought something out there, what could you buy it for?
if okay, let's say the low end on close to the beach. If you buy a condo close to the beach, like a 2-bedroom condo, you're looking at spending around like 1 million reais, which is 5 reais to the dollar, pretty much on average. So you're looking at spending around $200,000, but that's close to the beach.
Okay.
The more inland you move, it's going to go down to 150,000.
Okay.
If you go to like the continent side, where you go to the mainland, because we're on an island, if you go to the mainland and you go 10 miles in the mainland, you can get a 2-bedroom condo for 100,000,
Okay.
or even cheaper, and I'm talking a decent one. Okay, you can find a cheap condominium for 50,000, but maybe you have to put some tile, you have
Mm-hmm.
to here this kind of weird about real estate, unlike US. Like here, when you buy a piece of property or something, if you buy it brand spanking new, like they just finished the walls and the roof, that doesn't come with kitchen or even bathroom.
Mm.
Like it just comes with a pipe,
Yeah.
and you have to
You got to put it
install your
in.
own cabinets, you have to install your own refrigerator. So okay, the price is remarkably lower, because once you start installing cabinets and stuff, man, the price goes up.
Sure.
So again, it depends on what you install, what features you're going to use. All this is kind of the difference of money.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, compared to US prices, it's going to be an average of 3 times cheaper here than US. So
Sure.
if you bought a $1 million home in US close to the beach, you can find the same exact, not a home, but a condominium. You
Mm-hmm.
can find the same condominium here for 300,000.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
3 to 4 times cheaper here.
Sure. Let's dive into rent since we're on the topic of real estate. So anybody that wants to come down and check this place out, live there maybe for a year and just feel it out if it's right for them, what do rents start for?
So your typical rent here for your average person that's looking, let's just start out at a 2-bedroom
Mhm.
condo or apartment, whatever you want to call it. You're gonna look at around like about 3,000 reais, and that's gonna cover everything though. Okay, the rent typically is only maybe going to be like 2,200, but
Mhm.
then you're gonna have a condominium fee of 800 reais. So let's just say like 3,000 reais. This is gonna include like 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, maybe a balcony, a swimming pool, and generally like an event room or something you can either use or pay for rent. If you want like a studio or a 1 bedroom, then you're going to look at like around $450.
Okay.
you know this is on average. It depends on how close you are to the beach, what beach you're at. Here in Florianopolis, we have over 42 beaches on this island. Some say, oh, we have 48, and it's like all these different numbers. you
Okay.
know
Now,
but anyways, there's over 42 beaches on this island. So again, it depends on where you're at, what's the city, how many people are there, how big of a tourist destination it is. um, and then also it depends on how you want to maneuver here. If you only want to live here for 6 months and you're on a low end budget, man, you can come here during winter time. And winter time isn't like winter. It's not like
sure. Yeah.
super freezing all the time. It's only cold here, maybe 2 months out of the whole year. And it's
Okay.
cold like Florida cold, not like, you
Sure.
know, Minnesota cold or no
Right.
or Washington cold.
Okay.
But you can come here and you can rent these off-season homes for literally half the price. I mean, you can get like a 2-bedroom condo, the same one I was just explaining, for the $600, and you can come here and rent it for 4 to like 7 months, depending on the contract that you sign. Um, you can rent this out for half the price, 300
Okay.
US dollars, during the winter time. So yeah, if you're somebody that's looking to not spend so much time in the sun and want to come, I mean, the water's cold, but you can still get in it. It's not so freezing. It's not freezing cold
Right.
where you cannot get in it.
Sure.
But
And so if you go inland a little bit, away from the coast, we're looking at, so studios, 1 bedrooms, you're looking at 450. You can reduce that cost if you stay for 4 to 5 months over the winter time, and it's still pretty warm. It's Florida warm. And then, but if you go a little bit of inland, what do the rents go for inland? Are there any desirable
it's
areas? Are there any desirable areas or little cities in the inland that people kind of live in and like and enjoy, and you can get something even more affordable than that?
Yes, for sure. It's much, much cheaper.
Okay.
It's half the price. If you're paying 450 here on the island and you go to the inland, it's gonna be 250.
Okay.
It's much, much cheaper if you go to the continent side of things. Here's for sure it's 100% destination of travelers coming here,
Okay.
and hundreds of thousands of people come here for 3 4 months out of the year.
Yeah. Okay.
So it really makes the prices, very different here. But
Mhm.
yes, I mean, depending on what you like. If you like small towns, Brazil is full of small towns. Everywhere there's small towns, and they're your typical small town. They have your normal clothes shopping and restaurants and coffee shops and
Mhm.
things like this, but real small town.
Yeah.
And then you have real small towns here too that have a lot of high tourism too. They're high in the mountains, or they're sitting in valleys,
Mhm.
or there's famous rivers where people do rafting and things like this. So depending on the location and stuff too. But there's lots of farmland. I mean, Brazil is basically 90%
Yes.
farms.
Yep. Let's talk about getting there. So people are going to need a visa to spend some time in Brazil. What can you tell us about visas and the visa requirements?
They have the digital nomad visa, which I've hear only great stories about. People literally go to the embassy, they wait like 1 month, and they automatically like get signed up for like I've heard I've heard numerous stories where people get signed up for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. So I think it kind of maybe depends on your job position or how long you've had it. And this is kind of a very new thing coming out, so it's kind of very wishy-washy, but it's like a guarantee that you're going to get for 1 year. Also,
Okay.
if you're a retiree, if you're like 55 years old and you can prove you make like $2,500, you can basically get a permanent residency here. And
Okay.
if you have a baby here, you're guaranteed residency
Oh, wow.
automatically if you have a baby here. And literally
Okay.
people come here all the time, 6 months pregnant, come here, make a baby, and then they get residency.
Are you working on that
Um,
yourself, Thor? You.
yeah. Yes, I am.
All right. Well, let's look at some quick monthly costs, just like a rough estimate that you think. Like if what do people pay per month for utilities, and what do people pay per month for groceries? Groceries are real expensive in the States right now. Give us an idea
Right.
you would what people would budget for that.
Let's start off with your Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi is generally for like top notch quality high speed internet. You're gonna pay an average around $30 a month.
Okay.
For cellular data on your mobile phone, you're gonna look at around $20 a month.
Okay.
Again, this could depend on a lot of stuff. It can be cheaper or it can be more, but let's just say the average price is $20 for your phone. This is pretty much like everything you can use.
Mm-hmm.
And then your electric for your home is gonna run around 300 reais, so $60,
Per
60
month.
US dollars is
Okay.
your average, like a 2 bedroom condo with 2 bathrooms. If you in your water is going to run around 25 dollars also.
Okay.
So pretty cheap. Like I said,
Yeah.
about 3-4 times cheaper than US. Almost everything here is 3-4 times cheaper.
Are
You just
groceries
think in your
cheaper
head,
as well?
oh, much cheaper. I think much
Really?
maybe groceries is 5 times cheaper. Yeah,
Wow.
your grocery bill, depending on how you shop. But
Mm-hmm.
let's say you want to eat super fancy. You want to eat shrimp and steak
Mm-hmm.
and nice fish, nice meals every single day, like I do.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna spend an average of, just at the grocery store, not the restaurants.
Right.
You're gonna spend an average of $10 a day.
Okay. So about 300 a month you guys spend.
Yeah, yeah,
And
just at the
that's
grocery store.
and
The
that's like
restaurants is
the restaurants is different. Yeah, we're only talking about
yeah,
groceries, but you're eating extremely well on that budget.
yeah. Like let's say for instance, like steak. Okay, like it's like New York strip or ribeyes. You can buy New York strip or ribeyes here for an average of, depending on which market you go to, but it's going to be an average of like 60 to 80 reais, I would say, is the price for New York stripper. So it's basically about $15, okay? But that's
Okay.
per kilo, not per pound.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's 2.2 pounds in 1 kilo.
Okay.
So you look at that, it's $17, and you half of that, that's $8 that you're gonna spend for a pound of New York strip.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
sure I'm sure in the States it's probably around $20-$25,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So again, it's about 3-4 times difference. But then you have other food here, like vegetables and stuff is much cheaper than like your big cities like New York or where you live, DC or something. It's
Yeah.
much cheaper because Brazil produces so much vegetables
Mm-hmm.
here that you can go to these markets. You can go to a supermarket and you can buy a whole entire grocery cart full of vegetables, and it only costs like $40.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
now, as far as like restaurants go, if you go to a restaurant, depending on the restaurant, but let's say you go to like a coffee shop. If you go to a
Mm-hmm.
coffee shop, you're going to spend like an average of $1 for a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
If
Okay.
you go to a coffee shop and you want to eat like a breakfast meal, it's going to cost you around $5-6 for the meal.
Okay.
So kind of everything varies here a lot with the restaurants, but you can go to these buffets and it will literally be $6.
Oh, wow.
And then like if you go to a typical restaurant here, you spend about an average of like $5 a meal.
What is healthcare like, and how cheap is it?
Well, it's pretty much free. I mean,
Okay.
okay, I think some people have to maybe pay for some things. Uh, from my knowledge and from my experience being here, being in and out of the hospital with me or other friends or something like this, you learn a lot. For one thing, the hospitals are very nice, very clean, super clean. It's your typical general USA hospital.
Okay.
It's not much difference. Probably the only difference is the people, the amount of people that you see, depending on the area that you go in and depending on the time you go.
Yeah.
Um, there could be an overwhelming number of people. A lot of people can be in some places, and then other places not so much.
How soon can an expat access the public healthcare system? What do they need to do to access that?
Nothing. Everyone, no matter who you are, can come to a Brazil hospital and get work done.
And free,
You
and
don't
it's
have,
free.
and it's free. Yeah, if you
Wow.
if you are like, yeah, if you're in like some kind of needing emergency help right now,
Yeah.
there's no denying it in Brazil. They will fix you. It doesn't matter who you are, what your name is, if you have a certificate here or not. It doesn't matter. They must work on you because Brazil is all about human rights.
Okay.
So they support this human rights.
Yeah.
And if you need help, okay, but if let's say you have some kind of dilemma with like they suspect that you have cancer. Let's
Uh-huh.
just use this as an example. They suspect you have cancer. Okay, now it kind of becomes a little bit more broad.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? Okay, maybe you do have to have some numbers to proceed here. It's very
When you say
because like here
numbers, what do you mean by numbers?
numbers. I mean by like your ID, your identification
Okay,
numbers.
your
But
ID
here,
card.
here, 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 everything is numbers because so Brazil people will have like a wallet this big, and everyone
Mm.
thinks like, oh, you're full of money, right? They won't have no money in it. It will just be all IDs and and all these
I see.
identifications. And
Mm-hmm.
all these identifications is like full of numbers. Your driver's license number. They have like your social security number. They'll have
Okay.
like a CPF number. They'll have your residential number. It's like they have like 6, 7 IDs here. It's
Mm-hmm.
mind blowing. And then their IDs here is like very weird too. It's not like US where it's like a plastic with nice and here it will be like a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Literally a piece of paper. So these people put these pieces of paper into something plastic to protect it, and then their wallet becomes this big thick wallet.
Yeah, sure.
And
Okay.
so everything I'm saying numbers as as a generalization of what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So when you have like this cancer, then you're going to go through these programs, and so there's like multiple different programs you can do here too with the healthcare system. You can do like the free, or you can do the private, or you pay for your own.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to like US, but US nothing's really free, but you can still do the free, and then you're going to get charged later.
Yeah.
So here is like free. And again, it depends on the area you go to, because my friend just thought that they had cancer. So they went to this hospital, and they said, "Oh, you need to go get another checkup and stuff." And then they were worried, like, "Oh, how much is it going to cost?" "Oh, don't worry about it. It's free. Just go to this hospital." And then they like went to this hospital, then they got diagnosed to go to another one. It's kind of like this hopping around thing. And then they're saying, okay, you need to go to this building, and then you're going to register there, and you're going to register basically that everything is free. So it's kind of was like a process. And then all
Mm-hmm.
the Brazil people was basically like, why are you doing this? It's going to take you months and months to complete. You shouldn't waste your time. You should just pay. It's cheap, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, no, I want to do this free thing because it's free, and
Yeah.
everything is kind of rolling. It's just like, take some time. But it wasn't taking like months already. It was just taking a couple weeks. And in less than 1 month, they had all their tests done and everything with completed. And then the guy luckily didn't have any cancer, but
Mm-hmm.
uh it was just like, to me, is like, wow, man. In USA, it would take you 3 months to do a process like this if it was some kind of free,
Mm-hmm.
course
Sure.
to
Sure.
get your results. And I was very impressed. And
Yeah.
all these places, I go into, because I can speak a little Portuguese, and I was helping them out and stuff. So and then also I know a lot of people, so I can direct other people that have these complications. But yeah, to me, it was like, man, it was amazing. All the hospitals were amazing. You run into many doctors that speak English,
Mm-hmm.
um, run into nurses that speak English. And I was overwhelmed by how good the status of everything went down.
Mm-hmm.
I was very, very, very happy with it.
That's good to know. That's great information. Great to know. Thanks for taking us through that.
Yeah.
Quickly, how do people get around over there? Do they have a public bus system, or are there rideshare
Yes.
programs like Uber? Or
Yes.
there are. They got
Yes.
it all.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they have everything that you can imagine here. So, yes, they have these systems where you can jump in cars and ride with people, and it's very cheap. They have your public transportation, which here on the island is basically the system. They also have some. It's not considered a public transportation because it's not through the government, but they have like here we have some big lakes in the middle of the island,
Mm-hmm.
so people can go from one side to the other in a private public transportation, if that's what you want to call it. To me, it's still public transportation because it's super cheap. It's literally like $2 to go around the whole entire island. So here,
Wow. Okay.
the public transportation is kind of much different here than US. In US, you get on a bus or something, and typically you get on one bus, you pay for it. You get on another bus, you pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can get these passes or something like this.
Yes. Yeah.
But let's just say, the average person, you get on one bus, you pay, you get on another. Here you can get on a bus, and if you go to the bus, not a bus stand, but the actual bus station where
Mm-hmm.
the bus will bring you to. So they have multiple bus stations in pretty much every little city, little town. So you get on a bus and you can travel and get onto another bus station. And as long as you stay in the bus station, you get free to go to another bus.
Okay.
Same price.
Yeah.
And the bus right now, I think is like six reais. So it's like $1.20. And
Okay.
this bus can basically take you from the top of the island all the way to the bottom of the island if you
Wow.
wanted to go, right? For the
Yeah.
same price. Or if you want to go 2 kilometers or 1 mile, it's going to be the same price. Um,
How much do you think
so
people pay per month to get around um, Florianopolis? What would they pay in public transportation per month?
if you're not going out of your home every single day, then yeah, maybe $20, if you just go on the weekends or something. But if you're doing something every single day, and if you go by bus, I would say you're going to spend at minimum $3 a day on
Okay.
average. Yeah, I think the public transportation here is amazing. They have Uber, they have things it's called like blah blah car. This is kind of like carpooling. They have long distance bus rides. They have an international airport here. They have your taxis. They have private vehicles. They have rental service. You can rent a car here, a nice car, for like $15 a day.
That's fantastic.
Very
Um,
fantastic, very cheap, I think.
Want to get an idea of how much do you think somebody that's interested in moving down to Florianopolis or in that region, somebody that's thinking about living there on a budget, what could somebody, if they pay for every, like get a rental, utilities, go out to eat maybe a couple times, but groceries and everything, if they for everything, how much would they have to need, in your opinion, per month to live in Florianopolis? What's the low end that you think somebody could do it on?
I think you can spend an average around $900, $1,000, and you would live very comfortable. Okay.
Okay. Good.
Maybe you're not renting a car. You're using the public transportation. You're not eating at a restaurant every single day, but you can eat at a lot of times. But yeah, Brazil is amazing. There's so much opportunities here. Like I was mentioning earlier, you can come here, you can invest money, and you can get a return of more than 20% per year on your return, which is remarkable. You can invest here into real estate or business, or make a baby here and pretty much already get nationality here. Okay,
Mhm.
I mean you get permanent residency here, and then after a couple years, between 2 to 6 years, you can get a nationality here.
Well, Thor Starkey, man, thank you so much for taking the time to share all this info with us, man. I really
All right,
appreciate it.
Ray. Yeah,
It's been
you're
a
welcome so much.